Hello everyone, my name is RWBY and Jeff Williams is no longer working on RWBY Music. However, his daughter Casey Lee Williams, as well as her friend and bandmate Martin Gonzalez, are taking over for Volume 9. Let's get into it. This news comes to us from RWBY showrunner Kerry Shawcross. He put out a journal entry the other day with a quick update about RWBY Volume 9, but then to announce that Jeff Williams is retiring from RWBY, as well as from music in general. So first things first, Kerry had this to say about Volume 9's release. He said, "This post isn't about the release date quite yet, that will be coming soon. And I don't just mean soon, but more like, we'll have more info for you in January soon. That being said, I do want to let everyone know that production is going really well, we're making great progress and are really happy with how it's coming out. Everything is still looking great for an early 2023 release." So in other words, this is solid confirmation that there are no more delays. Volume 9 will be released early this year and we will know the release date within 1 month. It is another announcement of an announcement, which kind of sucks, but it is still the most solid confirmation we have had. Kerry then passed along a sort of farewell note from Jeff Williams. Jeff said, "Over the last 12 to 15 years, I worked on music a lot. Like, a real lot, and I'm glad I did, and I'm happy overall with the music I made alongside my partners. In the last few years, I started to realize that I wasn't really accomplishing new things, and that I was missing out on a lot of other parts of life that I didn't have the time or energy for while working obsessively on music. I asked myself how I would feel if I worked on RWBY Volume 9, if I busted ass for another year, put out another good album that fans enjoyed. I would feel the same as I felt after all the other releases, and that's the problem. I want my life to be one of change, growth, and journeys. To me, that's what creativity is all about. I've been retired from music since releasing RWBY Volume 8, and for now, I don't see myself going back to it. I mean, who knows? Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Right now, I'm not stressing over that. I'm enjoying using my time and energy and creativity in other ways. I suppose I should spend one sentence making sure you know that there's absolutely no negative situation between me and Rooster Teeth or anybody else. We've all been good to each other and for each other. We've had an extremely successful relationship with an inordinate amount of trust on both sides. And yes, now I get to sit back in the crowd and watch Casey melt your faces. With love and endless appreciation to you, my RWBY family, Jeff." And Kerry then added, "I can't even begin to say how much Jeff has brought to RWBY over the years. The songs have helped define what the soul of this show is from the very beginning. While we're sad to see him go, we're incredibly thankful and happy to continue working with Casey Lee Williams, who has also been a huge part of making the music of RWBY what it is today. She will be joined by Martin Gonzalez, who worked as a composer on Volume 8. Together, the two of them will spearhead music for Volume 9. While this is a big change, we're all confident that the music for RWBY will continue to complement the emotions of the show, while overall still sounding rad as hell." And Casey also shared some insight on this transition. She said, "Hey all, been waiting on this announcement to come out for a while, and I know it might come as a surprise. Firstly, I want to say that I know it's going to seem like a huge change, but I promise you that I am so excited for you to hear what we've been writing. Martin and I have been working on some really exciting stuff, and I truly feel like we're evolving the RWBY music sound in a really cool way. Know this, we aren't trying to be Jeff, and nothing can ever replace what incredible work he did. All I hope to do is continue a legacy with this next volume, and most importantly, make both the fandom and my dad proud. Thank you so much for the opportunity, we will not let you down." So Casey said she and Martin are changing things up. They're not trying to do the same thing her father did, but they are still honoring all of his work. To add more context to all of this, Casey Lee Williams and Martin Gonzalez will compose RWBY's vocal tracks for the foreseeable future. The two of them are friends and bandmates in their band OK Goodnight, where Casey sings and Martin plays guitar along with some of their friends. Their song Awake was used in Volume 8, too, for Cinder and Rhodes' fight in Cinder's backstory. That song was not created for RWBY, that song was already made, and it was featured in RWBY after the fact. Casey has been the lead vocalist for RWBY since the beginning, while her father has composed the music. But now, she and Martin are taking over Jeff's role, so it is now entirely the two of them. Casey did compose the song Until the End from Volume 7, though she did not just sing for that. And as Carrie said, Martin has already composed music for RWBY as well. He was brought on to help with Volume 8's musical score. In fact, most of his work is included in the second half of the volume, so both of them are no strangers to RWBY. This is a huge change. There's no other way to put it. As Carrie said, Jeff Williams' music has contributed so much to what RWBY is and what it is known for. Jeff's music is easily the single most universally beloved thing that RWBY has, more than any character or story arc or plot element, but to be honest, there is nobody better suited to take over for Jeff than his daughter Casey. Casey attended Berklee College of Music in Boston, where Jeff taught, so she's grown her talents a lot further beyond just singing. And she's also been with RWBY since day one, even before then, considering that she sang for Red vs. Blue as well. So I'm fully confident that she and Martin are going to make the most out of their role. Here is what Casey said a few days after announcing the change. She said, "Your support throughout the past few days has been such a relief and such a blessing. I can't tell you how nerve-wracking it's been holding on to this news for so long. I am now even more excited for you to hear what we've been making. Happy New Year." Not to mention, my dad is most definitely humbled by your love and respect for his work and for his decision to retire. He truly did something incredible and deserves every ounce of praise. I'm just so happy he's down to see where my musical influences will take the RWBY sound. And as for Jeff, I completely understand where he is coming from, and I agree with what Carrie said for honoring his departure and for Casey taking over. Jeff has a creative spirit, a creative drive, and he's achieved a level of artistry with music that he's not satisfied with making it anymore. To be truly fulfilled, he's moving on to other creative avenues. This isn't too surprising to me personally. I'm not trying to throw shade at all, but with the Volume 8 soundtrack being comparatively light from the previous ones and coming out incredibly late compared to them as well at New Year's Eve of 2021, it's easy to see how not as much focus was put into it as the previous volume soundtracks. So if Jeff's heart just isn't as in it anymore, he should move on to doing what he loves, what he feels fulfilled in doing. And with Volume 9 being such a departure from previous volumes as well, with this shift toward the ever after Wonderland away from Remnant, a shift in the musical style, the musical sound, is actually pretty appropriate for this change. Somewhat like how Volume 4 was an appropriate time to shift the show's visual style with the departure away from Vale and Beacon. And you have to remember as well that Jeff had also been making music for RWBY for an entire decade. RWBY is 10 years old now, and Jeff would release a new album nearly every year. That is otherwise unheard of for artists to make a new album every year, along with teaching at Berklee, along with just life. Like, he and Casey had a family member who was hit with a very serious medical condition that made Jeff reevaluate a lot of things. You have to understand the need to move on if you're just not satisfied for so long, to take back some amount of control over your life that you wish you had. Jeff and Casey have touched so many people in all of that time. So to you watching this, if you love Jeff's work, leave a comment below for what your favorite RWBY songs are. What it is about them that you've kept listening to those songs for all these years. Comment what you'd want to tell Jeff, if you could, for all of the work that he's put in. Comment what you'd want to tell Casey and Martin Gonzalez, who are stepping into that role. This is a big change, so tell me what you think about all of it. Personally, I still listen to so many songs that it's hard to pick a favorite, but for each volume, I'd say Wings, Time to Say Goodbye, Divide, Bad Luck Charm, Smile, Rising, Brand New Day, The Sky is Falling, or you get it. And my favorite score track from Jeff is the one for Yang's fight against the bandits in Volume 5. Go back to that fight and listen to how Jeff reworked I Burn and Armed and Ready into the background music for that scene. It is so good. The track is called I'm Her Daughter After All on the RWBY Volume 5 OST. Also, really quick, Jeff stepping away does not impact the musical score for RWBY at all. the music that plays in the background of the show itself, like I was just talking about the gang and bandit fight scene. That's different. Jeff has already been absent from the score for a while. Alex Abraham was the lead composer for Volume 8, though Martin Gonzalez and others also helped out, but Jeff did work on the score in previous volumes. That does it. As always, all my sources are linked in the description below. Like and subscribe to stay up to date on further news for RWBY Volume 9, which is now firmly scheduled for early 2023. We will have an official release date by January's end, and I will make a video once that happens. I'll see you next time. I'm RWBY Rising. Have a good one.